Hi, welcome back to the channel. I was sitting here just kind of meditating a little bit, like getting in tune with whatever the message is, and it feels like a very feminine message, divine feminine. Take that however it resonates for you. Everyone has both polarities within them. So if you're a man watching this, don't just watch this for somebody else. This is also about something that the feminine in you needs clarity on or needs to understand also. Okay? But divine feminines too. I'm seeing like the women that are watching are sitting a little bit more in their masculine energy right now because the feminine is protective or feeling a little bit worried about how she's showing up or how she's presenting herself. How are you showing up today? How are you choosing to present yourself? Are you being real? Do you have a mask on? Are you being real and do you have a mask on? So I feel like that's a question that's like really a big deal right now. Okay, there's like, so the energy in this message is meant to be healing towards that feminine energy. So maybe she's in a little bit of wounded feminine energy. So the way I see it, like if you have an equation with the equal sign in the middle, wounded feminine equals distorted masculine. And so her energy expresses itself when she's sitting in wounded energy or when the wound is presenting itself to her or stirred up. The way that she presents herself, which is not a conscious choice. Like I said, how are you choosing to show up? She is not choosing to show up in this energy. She shifts into that when she is triggered or the wound presents itself. So whatever that wound is. Could be abandonment. It could be not being chosen. It could be not being valued or being rejected, or like the word discarded has come up a lot lately. The fear of that has been stirred up, and then she shifts into distorted masculine energy, which is like masculine energy is leading. It's physical, feels very like a physical energy. So sometimes when the wound comes up, like she's afraid of being abandoned, she may present herself in a sexual way, or she will like sleep with somebody when she wouldn't normally have, when she feels like if the option is like do that or be abandoned, her wound kicks in and she was like, okay, well, that's my role or whatever. That's distorted masculine energy, distorted physical energy. That's just an example. So, it really is about examining what your feminine wound is. What is that wound? Because it really feels like there's some sort of, this feels like anxiety here. I know the 9 of Swords is usually the anxiety card, but this one is like, swords are thoughts, and the Knight of Swords is very fast. And so, like your thoughts are moving very, very fast. Sometimes this is a super intuitive energy too, but it feels more overloaded, like in the mind, that her thoughts are racing. Or she's running away from, okay, so I've got these 2 cards sitting out here too, this Death card. So there is some sort of completion of a cycle happening right now. And it's interesting because, I mean, it could be literal death too. Like my dad just died 2 weeks ago, and I've been kind of processing the loss of that. And that, I mean, I didn't have a great relationship with him. But the emotion that came up around it was very surprising to me. The grief that was coming up around it was very surprising to me. So this death card could just also mean grief in whatever way you understand grief or however you've processed grief. So your wound could be that you know, lost a feminine energy in your life, and there's a layer of that that comes up in relationship, and you protect yourself because of the fear of the loss of the feminine energy in your life. And it makes you push a little bit too much. Feminine, it could be the same thing for you, like, I mean, feminine, masculine, male, female, whatever. It could be the same thing for you, that you fear the loss of, like, for me, it was the father wound, the fear of loss, resulted in people pleasing and keeping the peace or accepting treatment that like I knew deep down was not okay, or there's some sort of thought in your mind that's overriding your intuition. I feel like your intuition is screaming at you, and there's a big lesson right now in like listening to that. Don't override it. Just listen to it. What is the thought? The thought is something's not real, or something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. Something feels off a little bit. Let me look on the bottom of the deck. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. It's almost like a confirmation. This is like validation. This is like something. This is like real. It's like it is real. You need validation that it is real. There's a signal in you that is signaling this is not real. They're not telling the truth. There's something going on behind the scenes. Like I'm worried that I'm gonna get fired because my boss had been doing this or saying this or whatever it was. I think that it just reflects you keeping some sort of thing to yourself, or not presenting, like keeping things under wraps until you know for sure, or something like that. Like I'm going to meet with someone else like about a job, and it's like, is my boss being the shady one, or am I being the shady one? Or is it both? Am I reacting to her energy? But then the fear kicks in, and it's like, okay, I need to abandon ship. Or I need to go look at other options. It's not the worst thing in the world to go and look at other options, but you really do need to weigh like all of the percentages. My friend and I were talking about like the 80-20% rule, where you're with someone or you're at a job and it satisfies you about 80% of the time, or to the extent of 80%. And there's always this part of you that keeps searching for that 20%, that 20%, that 20%. And then you end up finding someone that has that 20%, but it's only 20%. It's like fills in the gap of what this other person wasn't, or this other job wasn't. But then you end up missing the 80%. Like there's some sort of balancing act that needs to happen here. This is real. I just keep hearing that, like, this is real. It is real. It's sustainable. This Chariot card, the Chariot is usually in a lot of the other decks, like the Sphinxes that are here, they're usually horses, and they're like taking off. They're like barreling forward into the unknown, into the future, and these guys are just chill. Slow and steady, sustainable. What is sustainable? it's a slow build, but it is moving forward. Can you trust that it's moving forward? So there are things that need to be adapted, things that need to be shifted, kind of a new approach, a new way. Things are in the process of shifting. I look at how much my job has changed since I started there in the first place. It's interesting. It's like I was also talking about like narcissistic energy and the way that it presents itself. In the beginning, there's all this love bombing and things like that, and then things just slowly get taken away or stripped away or whatever it is. One of the things that I really, really loved about my job in the beginning was just the way that my boss, her ethos, the way that she took care of her employees and like treated us with little tiny treats all the time, and it's like we would come into the office, there'd be like fun games on the table or just random um, scratch offs or something for us, or she caters meals every month for anniversaries and birthdays and stuff like that, and just like, or in the Christmas party, and like this year the Christmas party was canceled, and then we usually have like snacks in the lounge all over the place for us to snack on when we come in from our drives, and those just slowly have been taken away piece by piece by piece because there's mice in the place, but like replace it with a Tupperware container or something like that. I don't know. And we walk in the room now and everything is just bare. We used to get emails all the time about like what great work we were doing, and like these positive reviews that we got and blah blah blah, and just slowly has started to dissipate. And I was like, that's what I signed up for. So once you get to the nitty gritty, once you get under the surface, I mean, that's how it is in a relationship too. Once you get past the initial phase, the love bombing, or it doesn't have to necessarily be love bombing, but that initial like dopamine experience, does this person really do the work to move forward? Does this person really, how does this person present themselves? What are you seeing versus what are you feeling? Because it feels to me right now like you're seeing something that's contradicting what you're feeling. And the old way of negating your intuition and your gut and that feeling that's what needs to die off. I feel like you need to process the loss of something like fully and not carry the story of that forward, but take the lessons forward with you. Like there was something in the beginning there that, missed the red flag of that one, missed the red flag of that one. And it's time that it becomes more real. Like you were attached to the illusion in the beginning. You were attached to what was being presented, and what was being presented was not smoke and mirrors, but a fairy tale almost. You can't date potential. You can't work at a potentially great place. I mean, you can, and then ride it out. How long do you give it before the potential becomes reality? It's like we're on the cusp of having something become reality, looking at the reality of what it is now and setting the course. That's what this is all about, is intentionally setting the course for where you want it to go. You have to create that. You have to decide that. You have to make a decision. And like, after you get through this grieving time period, so I'm just like, I'm like, how does this apply to my job? Like, what am I grieving? I'm grieving the loss of the culture, the community, the environment that was there before. And it's like I'm trying to get back that, I'm trying to get back that. But it's like once I grieve the loss of that, it's like, okay, well, this is the reality though. This is what it is now. How does it feel now? Am I safe in it? Do I feel safe? Do I feel confident? Do I feel balanced? Like all of those things were done because, she recognized how stressful the job is. And it was like, let me take care of the mental health of my people. It feels like behind the scenes, she's trying to take care of her mental health because of just overwhelm and overload. And maybe that is developing. Maybe that is going to shift again. We have to sit with the reality, mourn the loss of that, and just be like, okay, something needs to change moving forward, though. So is there a conversation that needs to happen that says, what is going on here? Because this feels not great, and I need to know what to do moving forward. And so maybe there's been miscommunication. Maybe this is communication. Maybe there's been miscommunication or what, but there's like something not being communicated. So again, take this however it resonates for you. It could be a job, could be a relationship. So apply this to a relationship. There's something in the relationship. Once you get past that initial dopamine, there's something that hasn't totally been communicated. And you're sensing it. You're starting to get a feel for the way that presents itself. Once you get past the illusion or like everybody's on their best behavior, putting their best foot forward, or they're really good looking, or whatever it is. Once you start seeing them first thing in the morning and in their everyday wear, then what is their energy saying to you? Because there's something there that hasn't quite been communicated just yet. And so it really is time to, in order to move forward in the way that's healthy for you, you have to decide what your path looks like, feels like, what your values are, what your intentions are, and move slowly towards that. That's what the Chariot is saying. Move slowly towards that. Take your time. Like there's something though that you need to reveal within this partnership. Like, this is me. This is what happens when I'm in a relationship. Or this is when I'm feeling this certain thing over here and it makes me a little bit anxious. Or, we had agreed to this arrangement over here and, that's what I was moving towards. Are we moving towards the same thing? My boss and I talked about like certain more responsibilities and more pay that I was going to take on and blah, blah, blah. And I haven't seen the movement towards any of that. And so it's like, are we still talking about the same thing here? What's the intention? Because if not, we need to kind of adapt things a little bit. And it's like, I need to reevaluate my role in this situation. Or like when we first started connecting with each other or dating or whatever it is, this was the scenario. But now the scenario is looking a little bit different. And so it's like a checkpoint. There's a checkpoint here. There's a checkpoint where you start to become intentional. Whatever it is that you got into in the first place was not quite as intentional. You were led to it. Now you get to choose if you continue on that path. You were led to it for a reason. Was it a lesson? Was it just a season? Was that job just for that season for me to learn a certain thing and then it's time to move on? Or do I need to like fully step onto that path, fully commit to that and just saying, I have faith that we're on the same page. And that your intention is kind of the same. Does that make sense? That is what this is telling us. after we get through this kind of grieving time period. Have a little bit of patience before you push forward. You can sit and set these intentions and decide what you want it to feel like. What do you want your relationship to feel like or look like, or like spell it out for yourself? What does it feel like? When conflict comes up, what does that feel like in your system? There's something in this energy, like anxious, that comes up when you're scared, when you're triggered. That's what the death is showing us here too. When you're in fear, when that wound comes up. Like she rushes, pushes, runs. There's something here that the wound is telling you that needs to be buried, really. That's what I'm saying. So that you can become more intentional. When you get into an anxious state, you get scared of something, you run the other way. You go and look for other options. Sometimes that's good, but sometimes looking at those other options, this other job, this other person, this other relationship, whatever, this other interest, is it showing you? Is that person, is that job 20%? It's time for you to make a different choice this time. You have to make a different choice this time. That's what Death Card is telling us. So we have to grieve the loss of the pain and like let go of the pain from the past. You have to do that over and over and over again. You can't just like drop it and run and it'll never show itself again. When you are in relationship, in any kind of relationship, like you have a certain type of dynamic relationship with your boss or your coworkers or, you know, a romantic interest. Whenever you are in that and engaging in that, your fears, your subconscious programming, your experience of relationships, that type of relationship from the past or what you witnessed, it's going to pop up. And if it goes against like what you intend, what you consciously decide, you have to look at it and weigh the options and realize that this is a fear from the past. Sit with it, look at it. Is it the same situation? Because if you continue to fear it and continue to feed it with anxious energy, at the end of the day, it will become that thing that you are worried about and it will become that pattern. You have the opportunity to look at it, communicate about it. That's what it is. That's what needs to be communicated. You're feeling and sensing something about this situation that feels off. It may not be the story that you're telling yourself. Could be that like one of your exes suffered from, you know, something behind the scenes, or there was something else going on that they were keeping. Like if you knew in the very beginning, if you had the information in the beginning, would you still have chosen? Would you have approached it a little bit differently? This person that you're involved with, that you're in a relationship with, or you're dating, or even my boss has something going on behind the scenes that she's not communicating for whatever reason. And I can sense it. I can feel it. And I'm telling myself a story about it because she's not communicating. She's keeping it very tight to herself. But I also haven't approached it. I haven't said, this is what I'm sensing. This is what I'm feeling. Like, is that real? Is that the truth? Is this real? What's real right now? You have to start presenting yourself in a real way, and it's scary, in an authentic way. The feminine wound, whatever that wound is for you, makes you hide yourself just a little bit. Hold yourself back a little bit. Not the worst thing in the world. Kind of testing out where it's safe to do that and who earns that, or who, you know, where that energy is supposed to go. Where is it going to be valued most? Where is it going to be held? Where is there a container for that, like the beauty, that thing that you have? But when you hide yourself from the thing that is the most beneficial to you or is part of this, it's because of fear of change. It's because of fear of the unknown. You're consciously creating this, and your subconscious is like, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to somebody being real. I'm not used to it. Like in the beginning of a relationship, it's like, it's supposed to feel like this, and it's supposed to look like this, and I'm looking for somebody who does this for me, and does this for me, and does this for me. Yeah, well, you chose all of that the last time, too. Is that really what it's supposed to look like, or is it a slower build than that? Will it present itself in a different kind of way? The boxes that you're checking off, I think we need to re-examine what those boxes are. What that looks like from the beginning. It's time to start being real from the beginning. Like, how are you presenting yourself? What are you presenting? Are you presenting an anxious energy? That's this one. An anxious, fearful, distorted, wounded, feminine energy, or same thing with masculine, toxic masculine energy, or whatever. Are you presenting that because you have this fear in relationship? You have this fear when your boss acts a certain way or whatever. Are you presenting it like, what can I do? Mind my P's and Q's, talking to other people behind their back, or blah, blah, blah? Are you communicating and saying, something feels very off and I feel very anxious. I have anxiety. It's like I talked to one of my coworkers about it, but I didn't talk to my boss about it. It's like, you got to go to the source. Something that feels off. There's something not quite real. There's potential there, but the potential is sitting underneath of a grieving time period and this, whatever the wound is. Look at your wound. What is your feminine wound? What is it? Put a name to it. Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, whatever it is. Fear of, like, being chosen. Okay? Look at that, and then start intentionally moving forward. Lay it out, and take your time while it presents itself, while it develops. Allow the space for it, whoever it is, to step into that and become that, or show that they have that under the surface. What is it that you want? They've been hiding from that part of themselves because they've been afraid to be and to like really give the depth of themselves because they gave it to the wrong people in the past. They gave it to the wrong job in the past. Wrong relationship. Okay? Whatever that means for you. All right. Love you guys.